What's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog, back in standard with a Mardu Mutate deck. Mardutate. That's right. So we're basically just splashing red for Snapdax, because Snapdax is super sweet. This card doesn't receive a ton of play. But yeah, it's a very nice card. 4 mana, 3/5, double strike. You can mutate it for 5 mana, and whenever it mutates, it deals 4 damage to your target creature or Planeswalker and opponent controls, and you gain 4 life. It's not a bad deal there. Obviously, it'd be really amazing if you could deal 4 damage to any target, but hitting creatures or Planeswalkers is not a bad deal. So obviously, we're mutate. We're leaning more into creatures and whatnot for our removal and for our value. So not a ton of spells here, just mostly creatures. So we got we're running 3 Snapdax. We want to see it as often as possible, but like don't want to see a 4 of necessarily. Especially the mutate is a little bit expensive. But yeah, I do want to see it often, but not necessarily have 4 of. So 2 Malakir Rebirth. Thing with mutate is you might have just one creature that has like 2-3 mutations on top of it. So it's effectively 3 creatures in one. Well, if your opponent kills it, well that kind of sucks for you. But Malakir Rebirth at least says you can get your creature, basically get all of your creatures back. Your mutations all come back to the battlefield as separate creatures now. So you lose 2 life, and whenever a creature dies, return to the battlefield tap, earns an owner's control, or we can play it as a black mana source, and we're kind of leaning a little bit more towards the black anyway, so it works out perfectly. 4 Heartless Act is going to be our removal spell of choice here. 4 Nullpriest of Oblivion, it's a vampire cleric, so of course not a human. You cannot mutate onto humans, so keep that in mind. 2/1 Menace Lifelink, so we have kind of a reanimation sort of a sub-theme here. So obviously if we kick this for 6 mana, we get any creatures, single creature back from our graveyard to the battlefield. Skyclave Shade, another way to reanimate, has kind of self-reanimation here with landfall triggers. Otherwise it is a 2 mana 3/1, and of course we can kick it for 5 total mana, have it come with 2+1 counters on it. Skyclave Apparition gives us some more removal here in the form of exile removal for non-land, non-token permanents, mana cost 4 or less. 2 Murderous Rider, some more removal, but it's also a creature, of course, so we can mutate on top of this, and lifelink, being able to mutate on top of lifelink is fantastic. Also, Nighthawk Scavenger has Death Touch, lifelink, and flying, and this kind of takes advantage of some of the little bit of removal that we are running to help grow itself a little bit bigger. And then, of course, the opponents can be doing things on their own, so we don't really have to do too much to really help this grow. All 4 Necropanthers here give us some nice mutation value, another way for us to get our key 3 drops back, like a Skyclave Apparition, or a Nighthawk Scavenger, or just another Necropanther potentially. Elspeth, Sun's Nemesis, gives us a little bit of main deck kind of a mill protection, but also is a way for us to kind of pump up our team or make tokens. They're human, so we cannot mutate on top of them, but if we need to put a couple of chump blockers down, maybe even just -3 to gain some life potentially, we can do any of those things. So Elspeth just feel like she has a slot as at least a 1 of. A couple of Dirge Bats here as well. 4 mana for a 3/3 flash flyer. It does cost 6 to mutate, but most likely we're just going to play this for 4 and then try to mutate like a Necropanther or something else on top of it, and then kill a creature or planeswalker on our opponent's side. A couple of Hagra Maulings to give us some removal or a land. A couple of Insatiable Hemophage, 3/3 dash touch for 4 mana is okay. However, the mutate is only 3 mana, and that's kind of what we're looking at here, just kind of a cheap way to get our mutation triggers. Finally, we have Agadeem's Awakening. Another way for us to kind of get some of our creatures back. Mostly concentrated on the 2 and 3 drop slot. So we're cast this for 6 mana. We get a 3 and a 2 drop back. It's not a bad deal. Mana base here, we got 2 plains, 3 swamp. Want to have the 1 basic mountain just to be sure we can find out that 1 red source. All 4 Brightclimb Pathways and Needleverge Pathways. 4 Temple Silence and 4 Savai Triomes. Sideboard, we're looking at 3 Drannith Magistrate, shutting down the escape and adventure shenanigans. Kitesail Freebooter, a little more game against control. It is a creature, something we can get back with our Necropanther. Tymaret is going to be our graveyard hate of choice, since it is a creature and it's a demigod, so we can mutate on top of it. Archon of Emeria, same thing here, 2/3 for 3 flying, kind of hurts a couple different types of archetypes here, really. Ramp, of course, and then even like some aggro decks that are trying to play more than 1 spell per turn, like Is It, or things like that as well. Necromancer, since we're a little bit light on hand hate, we're just going to bring in some Necromancers, and we can just kind of take out like our whatever we perceive to be the biggest threat. Obviously, it works great against Ugin and things like that as well. Against the aggro matches, we can also bring in a Baneslayer Angel, 5 mana, 5/5 flying, first strike, lifelink. Does have protection from demons and dragons for what it's worth, so Terror of the Peaks protection. And then Elspeth Conquers Death for the more mid-rangey matchups, giving some exile removal, screws up our opponent's non-creature casting cost spells for a turn, and then also we get a creature or a planeswalker back to the battlefield. Alright, that's the deck. We'll jump into some matches. Alright, that's Casper Tag 44. Obosh Adventures. Awesome. Well, we have double Murderous Rider, so we'll give it a go here. Triome into Temple seems reasonable. Scavenger is not bad. Skyclave Shade. It's okay. I think at this point we have the removal we need, so I'm not sure how we're going to cast it. I mean, I could wait and just try to kick it later. Pretty much have what we need mana-wise. So there's a black source. We don't need one of these as a red source. We have the Triome as well, so we don't even really need either of these. Wow, opponent literally not doing anything. Alright, fine. We'll run a Scavenger out there. Next one we have Rider plus Skyclave Shade. Or just kick a Skyclave Shade. Bottom with all the ramp. Even without Lucky Clover, these adventure decks still just find a way. Alright, no respect for the Scavenger. Oh, swing one. Send a message. Go ahead and kick. Just going to play Obosh here with 2 mana open. Tap out for Beanstalk Giant. Oh man, I hate these decks so much. I think that's our best bet. We got the Elspeth Conquers Death. They have plenty of things we can hit with that. Shave a Snapdax, get rid of Elspeth. We need to make room for Necropanther, Genesis Ultimatums, things like that. Archon of Emeria could also screw them up a little bit. And definitely want to make room for the Drannith Magistrate. So in that case, we'll just shave off one of each of our 2 drops. It's typically the game plan. You could just whiff on Ultimatum, but I mean, we've seen these decks a million times. We really need to sit through this again and see what they hit. So, play this on black. Just to get a Necropanther on 3. Just name the Ultimatum. That would take away quite a bit of value from their list, but then we're missing white mana. We can Mountain and kind of see what we draw first. Mountain Skyclave Shade. Start putting some pressure on them. I mean, they're going to have a Bone Crusher Giant guaranteed because they always do. Well, Drannith Magistrate's not bad. But yeah, we'll keep running out the Shade first, though. So now it's even a tougher decision here. Play this on white and then just get screwed on white mana and not be able to cast the Magistrate. Or not play the Necropanther that we bought in of our sideboard. I mean, I guess if we're going to name the Genesis Ultimatum, we have a couple turns, then we'll probably naturally draw into a black mana source. Okay, so we're gonna get stomped here. Okay, I know you're holding up a stomp. Fire it off any time, dude. To the surprise of literally nobody. Okay. And they probably just have a petty theft for it. Yeah, there's their blue mana. Perfect. No, I'm just gonna ramp with Beanstalk Giant. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they don't have it. I mean, that is pretty good. I'll hit you for one. See if we got a Terror of the Peaks here. No. You're not running Terror of the Peaks? Edgewall Innkeeper. Put Obosh in hand. Could also name Obosh with our Necromancer. Wow, double ultimatum in hand. So they got a couple of 2/2s. I almost forget to attack first. But of course they had 2 in hand. Why wouldn't they? Well, they as yet do not have a way to deal with our Drannith Magistrate. And they're missing red for what it's worth. No attacks. We got our Snapdax online. Just looking for lands at this point. They're gonna hit us for what, 8? That's so stupid. 7. And Obosh. Let's see. Double that damage instead. So we're taking 14. And that's pretty insane. No lands. I mean, we're not dead yet. Just play this out as a Death Touch creature. Another Mammoth. Triome. Okay, we make some trades there. Well, they're in top deck mode. Okay, they're going to thin out their deck a little bit. We got a cat, and we'll play 1 Nullpriest. Obviously, a land off top would be great. Untapped, and then we can Actually, we'll get a creature back next turn anyway, so... There's a land. +1. Yeah, we'll just kick our Shade. They just conceded against us? Whew. We actually beat Obosh Teamer Adventures. God, that deck is annoying. This is why I don't play ranked. I feel like this deck is decent enough to play in ranked, but I'll give it a try. Probably get stopped here. They had to go first. We got kind of lucky with our Necropanther and whatnot. A little bit screwed on lands, but then they kind of flooded out. Hand's not great, but we'll keep it. Do have some removal here. Curious how Archon of Emeria does against them. Oh, now they have a Lovestruck Beast. Perfect. Oh, that's the Magistrate. We want to see that card. Attack for 1. I think we just Apparition the 5/5 here. That's the biggest threat. We need some way to deal with that. We have Heartless Act, of course, but we can save that for Obosh or something, hopefully. Also have an Elspeth, if we can find our lands. Though with the Malakir Rebirth in hand, I think we have to play that out. Nothing in the Adventure Zone, so probably save the Drannith Magistrate until they stomp. Well, they get a 3/3. They do get to attack with their token. They could have a Petty Theft here as well. There's the Petty Theft. GG, you got it. Just so much redundancies in these Teamer Adventure builds. It's like, man, so much value. Alright, up against the dubbed one. We do have double Snapdax, isn't ideal, but we have a couple of 2-drops here. We'll give it a try. Opponent. It's one of those types that just queue into a ranked match and then just gonna sit there. Turn to mulligan or not. Alright, looking for lands. Sure. Give us a red source for our Snapdax, Temple of Plenty. I'll play the Shade and get a creature online, see what they got. There's another opportunity to, before we commit to our pathway. Okay, Abzan counter, so a Heartless Act is garbage against that. So, cool. Well, we do get a swing for 3. I'll go and play this on black. This would have the Batra in hand. Moss Pit Skeleton. I mean, it's just a 2/2 right now. We'll get off the board and make sure we can hit for 6. Apparition can deal with the Ozolith. Or we can just deal with the Skeleton. That works too. Put it down to 5. Okay, Conclave Mentor. They're effectively at 7. We gained some life. They do have protection from multicolor, but then they take 6. I guess that makes sense because double strike would have killed them. So yeah, putting counters on the Stone Coil. Well, we can actually mutate our Bat right here. That's pretty cool. Whew. So, Abzan counters got off to a little bit of a slow start. Gave us some opportunities there. Unfortunately, we don't have good answers for a counters deck. Mossbit Skeleton can be annoying, but it's not really a good card. Elspeth flaws like it misses too many things. I think definitely go wide, so I don't know if Elspeth is worth it, but Baneslayer probably is. I mean, they're pretty creature heavy, so I don't know if Kitesail does anything here. Archon of Emeria is interesting though. Necropanther is tempting, but might not be worth it. I'm not sure that Tymaret is worth it either. We're just going to have to hope for the best. We'll just have to try to remove counters as like a combat trick with our Heartless Act, and hope that's enough. Maybe remove counters off a Stone Coil and kill it that way. We'll see. See what we can do. It's an interesting hand. Not totally sure it's worth it. Could very easily get screwed on lands and not be able to do anything. But I mean, Baneslayer is pretty sweet. We're on the draw. I mean, Murderous Rider, Baneslayer, Snapdax is a pretty important card, so I think we'll keep it. Even though the mana situation is a little bit sketchy at the moment. Just means the lands are in our deck, right? We'll draw into them, right? But his Abzan counters are going to go first this time, so they'll probably pretty big advantage on us either way, so might not matter. Here we go. The sleeves are gorgeous, man. Song of Creation. It's such a beautiful artwork. It's a cool card, too. Kind of sucks it's been relegated to just like mill and just kind of niche combo decks. Okay, they do have a Stone Coil in hand. We saw that pause. Not a land, but we did find some removal. We're pretty desperate. We need to find a land here in these next couple of draws. Okay, they're going to play your Stone Coil for 1. You're going to wait. They're going to wait. Agadeems. Sure. Not what we're looking for, but we do have Murderous Rider next turn. So the deck's teasing us with lands, but it's definitely, I think it's going to definitely kind of stall out for us, so we'll see. Well, it's tempting to play this as a red source for the Snapdax. I think we have to play on white for the Apparition. I think we have to prioritize that and just trust that we'll eventually find another red, potential red source, either a Triome or whatever. Wildwood Scourge. Definitely get out of control. But we'll wait. We'll just do this on their turn. Faber Elder. I don't think we care about that. If you're a counters deck, what are you doing with your Faber Elder? What does that do for you? Well, we found a red source. Just fire off our Snapdax. See if they're running removal. Get Hemophage. I'd like another white source off the top. Even a tapped one would be fine. And Garrick's Harbinger. Okay. This mana situation is not ideal. Want to deal with that Mentor first. I got a double strike, so I mean, they get a swing for 4 and dig for a creature. I don't know. I think I'm going to try to be the aggressor here if we can look for opportunities. Something like that. They might be a little more mana screwed than we are, though they do have the Outer, which seems to be helping them. When they played the Harbinger and the Mentor there, that's pretty good. Opponent must have a really bad connection, because they've been super slow at times. Or they're just playing ranked and they've got other stuff going on, which is not really cool, but, you know. What are you going to do? I mean, this Baneslayer Angel, if we can resolve that, it's going to be pretty amazing against this opponent. So we're not too worried about our life total just yet. And them digging for creatures isn't too bad if they're stuck on mana, although the Elder can definitely make up for that somewhat. Okay, they're running lands, so we'll have to sit back on defense now. Don't want this Harbinger to keep hitting us. Scavenging Ooze, sure. White source off the top, untap would be amazing. Then we can Skyclave and Heartless Act. Oh, Great Henge. That's pretty nasty. I mean, our opponent's like drawn like a champ, so I don't know. Stay back. They're definitely their deck is definitely online. I mean, we've had an okay start for kind of a sketchy keep, but yeah, this Great Henge, Faber Elder. Especially if we can't find more lands, then we're going to be a world of hurt. They're just going to pull away from us with card advantage and be able to actually cast it with the Henge and the Elder. But we'll give it another turn. I mean, if they go off this turn, we'll just move to game 3. No reason to just sit here while they outclass us. I mean, it's pretty clear that they definitely have the tools to do so, but or will they? One of those tools is apparently not their internet connection, because they've had a lot of ropes on their end. So that could definitely be one way to win, but that's not really how we want to win. So yeah, I don't consider ropes or timeouts an actual victories. A Basri Ket, really? Wow, Basri and Vivian in the same turn? That's insane, bro. Holy crap, that's insane. Their deck is super greedy. Your Abzan counters, which has so many good counter synergies, but you're running like Faber Elder, Vivian, Basri. In an Abzan list, you're running Basri Ket double white, and white is kind of like more of like a splash color, really, like Conclave Mentor. and stuff like that. Dude, that's some super greedy. I mean, they got paid off, so I guess I can't say anything, right? I mean, everything kind of worked out for them. I can't imagine their deck is very consistent, though. But hey, as long as they're having fun with it. It's always frustrating losing to what appear to be suboptimal decks. Just my opinion. Just feels frustrating. That's you know, it's a variance for you. I don't know if they're actually sideboarding or if it's just their internet problems, because they've been having a slow go of it. Wow. I mean, if we mulligan, we're going to have like no lands, right? Like one land or no lands. Just do not trust the arena. Just don't trust the arena shuffler, man. Yes, Triome, please. Did make a case to just cycle that with so many lands, but we do need a red source. Hopefully I play a creature here. I mean, that Ozolith, Basri, Fabro Elder, like, dude, what are you doing, bro? Just run out the Necropanther as a 3/3, why not? Probably play Snapdax here for 4, and then we can Hemophage, maybe. Get some Snapdax mutate value. I mean, Skyclave is pretty good too. Man, they got so much value off the Elder last time. Can we really let them untap with it? That's so annoying. I think we have to Heartless Act this Elder. I'll give them a chance to block first, although can't imagine they would. I don't know why they're being so slow about it. Do that before they untap. Fortunately, that's our turn. Thanks to Necropanther, we're pretty heavy in the 2 and 3 drop creatures because we want to try to get some actual mutation value, or at least that's kind of the plan on paper. So sometimes they end up being a little bit awkward like this, where we can only do 1 spell a turn. So once you get past these early stages and start finding your lands, what is this nonsense? Are you for reals, bro? Garrick, Basri, Vivian, Fabro, Elder, Ozolith. Your deck is like all over the place. How do you like get wins, man? I mean, Planeswalkers are good value on their own, I guess. That's some value, you know, like we had to expend some resources going out their Garrick instead of going out their face. But man, I just don't understand how these decks can operate, like in ranked and stuff. I'm just not seeing the synergy. Like these, like I've built some counter decks and I've seen them, like you don't run all these Planeswalkers in them, like certainly not Garrick, Basri, and Vivian. Maybe just Baneslayer here. I mean, they're not running removal from what we've seen. I don't remember seeing any removal from them. I mean, you don't have room if you're running all these different planeswalkers plus Ozolith, and you're still trying to play creatures with counter synergy, like, you're just trying to do too much. You have to have removal. You know, like Inscription would be much better than like Derek. Stonecoil shutting down our Snapdax, unfortunately. We do have the Skyclave, then get rid of that, so that would be pretty nice. We'll see what else they have. You can find your one removal spell now that we have a Baneslayer Angel online. That would be how the algorithm works, right? So we have Hemophage Mutate on top of Snapdax, and then dealing 4 damage or something, or we can Apparition. Maybe Apparition and something else. I don't have any creatures in my graveyard. Archon of Emeria. Now that they've dumped their hand, we get the Archon. Nice. I think we just need to deal with this Harbinger. Swing 5 in the air. Keep the pressure on him. And block with your Stonecoil, or not. Would give you something to eat with your ooze. Nope, just going to take 5. We gain 5 either way, so. It's like an untapped land, so we can actually do 2 things. That'd be nice. I mean, they've dumped their hand already, so Archon of Emeria not really doing a whole lot of value. It does give us a flyer. They can swing into the Stonecoil, unless they have some way to grow it. Which we haven't seen yet. Yeah, you don't have any removal, so why would I have creatures in my graveyard? We can Nullpriest and Archon here, so that's okay. And I could still have Inscription for all we know. I mean, their deck seems pretty random. I mean, it's kind of straightforward with some of these things, but then they're running some random stuff like Garrick that I don't know if you really have room for that kind of stuff. But the you know, the shuffler algorithm here seems to be pretty favorable to a variety of decks, so I don't know. Now they want to preserve their life total. Let's give them something to eat with the ooze. Well, don't look like we'll get anything back with our Nullpriest. All right, let's just get rid of the Mentor all we can. Could definitely do some nasty things. I gotta put an additional counter thanks to the Mentor and the Scourge as well. It's pretty annoying. I don't have any creatures, dude. You can eat stuff, and they have 2 creatures. Man, that's so annoying. You're just gonna hold party this whole time. Man, Mentor, Scavenging Ooze, Wildwood Scourge. You just have this perfect board. I don't know. Maybe we should. Maybe we're supposed to get rid of something else with the Apparition. Maybe the Harbinger wasn't it. we're up to 40, so there's that. Yikes, so much value there. Oh, man. I mean, we could still get another apparition or something like that. But yeah, Snapdax mutating doesn't really do a whole lot at this point. It's not with the creatures they have on board, but they've been holding something in hand, and they obviously have a new draw, so we'll see what they got. Also, they're fighting their internet connection, it seems like, as well. So. Well, that's going to give them a huge advantage. We'll play our Archon. So they'll hold up some kind of instant speed. Could be another Triome. We'll also have mana open for Scavenging Ooze. We have a lot of breathing room with 40 life, and obviously the Baneslayer Angel still ticking away. They don't have reach or any way to deal with it. If they do find a Stone Coil Serpent, that's going to be pretty bad for us. Then we virtually have no attacks if they can top deck that. Which I assume they're running like 3 or 4. It's hard to know because this list is kind of doing a lot of weird different things. Another Garrick. Okay, well, it's not a creature, so that's good. Okay, so we can mutate, kill Garrick, hit the 3/3 with our Snapdax trigger, swing 7 in the air, put them at, well, no, because they, yeah, because we have flying now. So yes, this should be what we want to do. Just have to make sure we organize our triggers here properly. Because Batcher will give our Snapdax flying, and then we have the 2, the 5, and then effectively 6 since it has double strike. Whew. So they weren't dead just yet. They definitely had room to top deck, but what we were going to do was with the I guess it doesn't really matter because they're both at 3, so we're gonna Batra is gonna kill the Garrick, and then we're gonna Snapdax deal 4 damage here, and then since this is already on board, it'll have flying thanks to Batra, and then we'll double strike in the air for 6 plus 5. That's 11 plus 2 more, so 13. Not dead on board, but then they have a Great Henge to give them 2 more life. And if it's a creature, then obviously they can still top deck. They can eat something with the. Actually, are they still? No, they're out of creatures. Yeah, they already ate them all. So yeah, they'd have to top deck a creature and kind of chain off some things. So they could definitely find something, but it'd have to be like a Stone Coil Serpent. Oh, at that point with 3 flyers, yeah, I don't think they could. But yeah, that was I don't really agree with Garrick in this kind of list. I mean, I get the point, like trample with like this kind of stuff, but like you have to already be ahead to actually get value. So I'd just rather be running something else. But that's just me. And we got there. So yeah, taking down. We at least won one game against the Tymaret Adventures, which is pretty sweet. You know, it's one of the better decks. Super powerful, especially with the Obosh online and just adventure Synergy is just super powerful even without Lucky Clover. Like, I mean, all the cards are already 2-for-1s, which is pretty insane. But yeah, Mardu, Mutate, super fun. Snapdax, love this card. Obviously, a lot of fun to play with. Kind of running a little bit of a reanimation sort of a sub theme, which if your opponent's not running removal, then kind of feels bad. Like you're not really getting a ton of value off of mutating stuff. But I was originally running like Mire Tritons and things like that, but it just felt like it wasn't really necessary. So I wanted like things like Skyclave Shade that were already kind of naturally recursive, Nullpriest of Oblivion, things like that that kind of give you other ways of refilling your battlefield. Because, I mean, let's be real, there's so much removal in the format as it is that you don't even really need to self-mill to get value off of these type of cards. But every once in a while you might run into a deck like that doesn't have a whole lot of removal. But yeah, super fun list. Definitely been tweaking it and kind of playing around. It doesn't quite feel like it's perfect, but I feel like it is pretty close. So I just wanted to showcase it for you guys that Mutate is still a fun mechanic, besides just the usual, you know, Simic, Sultai shenanigans that you see probably every day on the ladder. You know, everyone mutates onto Scoot Swarm like it's the coolest thing to do still, but there's other things you can do with Mutate that are fun to play with. So, yeah. And Sideboard, I feel like it has kind of come into its own here. The Necropanther definitely has come in clutch against a variety of matchups, not even just control. Like I've brought this in against, you know, like clerics to name like Aura and Veto, things like that. Obviously these are humans we can't mutate on top of, but we can get them back with our Necropanther, and they're pretty important for kind of shutting down or slowing down certain decks. Especially since we want to kind of lean still towards the creature heavy aspect of things. So yeah, this gives us some hand hate as a form of a creature, and of course Drannith Magistrate, pretty key card in the format right now, at least out of the sideboard, I would say. Archon of Emeria, don't love it, but I definitely feel like it's great in certain matchups. And it's a reasonable creature overall, but could be something else here. I'm not really sure what more you need. We have plenty of good removal here in the main deck, but maybe like a Banishing Light just for some utility removal for things that we have maybe a harder time dealing with. But you know, we have Snapdax that can kind of mutate and hit things for 4, Dirge Bat that can kind of kill planeswalkers and whatnot. So yeah, I feel like we have a pretty reasonable game against most things. Obviously, it's not going to be something you're going to grind all the way to Mythic with this, but it's a fun deck. It's good enough to play on the ranked like we just did there. But yeah, it's probably a little more of a casual deck. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, make sure you jank with the